So today we're in our upstairs landing and it just needs a bit of freshening up, it needs a bit of repaint, but there's also some repairs to do. You probably can't see it from here, but there's where the stairwell connects to the landing. There's a junction which has been annoying us for some time because we see it every time we come upstairs. You have to cross it. So let's show you what that is. I think we're going to tackle that bit first. Got the tread, and then you've got this finishing plate, the upright here, and that is a bit loose. I think that's just nailed in, but B, it's nailed up against this piece of old floorboard, which is obviously, it's solid, but it's obviously come apart in the past and split. And so what I think we need to do today is to take this board away, cut this here and lift this out. It's probably going to be tongue and groove, which means each interconnecting, there's a groove and a tongue, and each board connects with the other, so we might have to cut that out. But we'll take this off, see what we've got, and then put a fresh piece of timber in, stain it. So we can see on the left there, on the extreme left up against the wall, we've got the cut off of the beam, and then probably about 40 centimeters on, we've got this next cut off just here. We're not going to disturb the masonry there, but we've just chopped out the loose plaster, and the next job now is just to take out this top rail here. Come on, Tom. All right. Come on, there you come. Come on. Okay, so we have our piece here, and this is the line that we want to recreate, and it is tongue and groove. So this is the groove, and this is the tongue. So just out to the workshop now to see if I've got a piece exactly the same as this. Might have actually, that we can cut in. What do you think of that, Tom? Drizzly and rainy and wet and horrible, but prefer that freezing cold snow. But I won't tell Anna that because she loves the snow. So these are the spare pieces from the garage door project. There we go. So we need the tongue part, which is this part here. In terms of, it's a little bit, I don't know if you can see that, it is a little bit shorter, but I don't think that'll make a difference because I can put some pads under there just to lift that up. It's better than it's slightly thinner than slightly bigger, because obviously we'd have to then plane it all down. And I want the tongue section, which is this section here, and Need to take that tongue off. That's just a little bit too short. So look. Oh, that's perfect, look. So let's get rid of that one. There we are. Look at that. Now, because I chopped this off and there was a little section coming out at the end, which I chopped off with a nibbler saw, and so we need to put that back in. So actually, that couldn't be better. That couldn't be better. So the job to do now is to chop off that tongue, and then we need to just do the width there, which is going to be that and a half an inch, doing it by eye. There. So we take those two pieces off, and then we need to do a length cut. Now we know that this piece was just slightly, at its widest point, was just slightly too small. So I offer that up, and we come to about there. That should be enough to take in all of that cut out. So what we're doing is we're bringing that upright board, we're bringing that slightly further out, which will give us a nice crisp connection. That's the idea. Before we do that, I just need to sharpen up my pencil. And that gives us a nice crisp line. So we measure our depth, which incredibly is exactly 50 millimeters. Duplicate that just here. Probably the same again in the middle. Let's join those up and let's mark our line. Perfect. Okay. What do they say? They say, whoops, measure twice, cut once. So I'm just going to offer that up, make sure. If anything, that might be a bit much, actually. I might come in. I'm only looking at it now. I'm doing it all by eye. But clearly this was at a slight angle before, I think. Now, do I duplicate that? Because this bit here is actually quite a bit narrower than that piece. So I think I'm going to come into about there. Do you know what? I'm going to cut that first piece, then offer it up, and then see if I need to trim it. So I'm there. Just lower that blade down a little bit. Don't need it that high, do we? There we are. Okay. Okay. Now, before I pack the table saw away, even though it's a little wet, I'm going to offer this up and see if my guesstimation measurements were right. Now, I've just had to take a little corner out there to get it started, because this board actually recesses into the wall slightly, so that's fine. But then just up this end, it's just a little bit, I mean hardly anything, a horsehair too long, so just going to nibble a bit off that. So just applying some wood glue along here. You wouldn't ordinarily glue floorboards together. You allow them to move around a little bit, but this one is at the end of the line, if you like. It's not connected to anything else. And I don't want it squeaking and creaking because it's going to take a bit of work, because it's, you know, the last one you touch and the first one you touch when you come up to the landing. So I've decided to glue and screw them. So just hammering that home there with a pad to avoid damaging the wood, and that makes a lovely connection. And now we're just going to countersink 2 screws in, and I'm screwing through to the old beams below. So there never used to be a staircase here. That's what's happened, is they've built this staircase and chopped those beams away. But I'm going into those stubs with those 1.5 inch screws there. So we're just putting the last riser back in then, and I'm also not nailing that, I'm also screwing that again into the ends of those cut off beams, so it's nice and solid, so it won't move about anymore. Just to fill these holes with a bit of wood filler. Okay, just let that dry, and then a bit of stain, and we're done. Okay, so we've just got to wait for that to repair section to darken up a little bit. It's still quite light. It's had 2 coats, but I'm just going to keep going with the stain varnish just to get that nice and dark, and then we're done. So we need to do some decorating just to refresh this area, at least with some paint. We might try some wallpaper if we've got small patterns, because it's not a big landing, and that's the next stage. So hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.